Panzerkampf.
In the blue square, we have the Rotten Coalition, submitted by Thunder Panzer and AFJK LOL. This team consists of 7 UT-5 M2 Escuchen MBTs, 3 Sturmschwerhaubits, or Stushes for short, 1 Jagdpanzer 1, and 1 Lake Rocketen Jagdpanzer 1 Gürteltier. I probably botched that horribly, but anyway, that's what they're called, and that's all there is in this team. And in the red square, we have the Caroleans, submitted by Mystic Ping. This team consists of 5 Stritzwagen Fs. Alright, the tanks are on the field. The battlefield is set. Let's get this fight underway. 3, 2, 1, go. Both tanks settled to the ground. I had to spawn the Caroleans a little high because they just wouldn't come down. There goes the volley of shots from AFJK LOL and I've already forgotten who the other guy was. Their team fires first. The Caroleans respond. Just gonna call them by their proper team names. The Rotten Coalition. There we go. Okay. The Lake Rakuten Jagdpanzer 1 took a few hits there, but seems to be okay. A turret pops straight off of one of the main battle tanks. That's not a good start. Missiles streak in from the Caroleans, seeking out different targets. Oh dear, another main battle tank gets its chassis eaten up. But they're still bravely charging onwards. 2 are incapacitated. 1 still has its turret, but 1 is missing. A third one falls to a shell. 4 remain charging in. They're brave. They will not stop. They will not give in. Another shell comes in. Another volley of shots comes off the Rotten Coalition. This time one is upended by another frag shell from the Caroleans. These tanks in the back seem to be... Oh, there they go. They're firing now. I was wondering if they were actually going to start supporting their team. Only 3 of the main battle tanks remain, but they've reached the front lines now. Will they be able to make a difference? Oh, those high explosive shells, those heat shells are going just wide. Oh, that one didn't. Clip the side of that Carolean, or I'm sorry, the Stritzwagen. That's what the tanks from the Caroleans team are called. Geez, these main battle tanks have certainly soaked up the damage, but they paid a high price for doing so. The Caroleans have just backed off and let them come on, eating shots as they go. But if there's one thing that the Rotten Coalition has going for it, it's that it has a lot of tanks to spare. And now the Rakuten Jagdpanzer 1 is within range where it can really do some damage with those rockets without a high risk of missing. A couple of main battle tanks remain, duking it out with the Caroleans. But it's really down to these support vehicles in the back. Can they make the difference? Will they be able to do anything? It seems like the Rakuten Jagdpanzer is the one that's really doing a lot of the damage right now. Skimming right by its companion there and nicking into the ground and missing the Carolean, but still, they're pushing backwards, and that's a good thing. They're scared. These heat shells are not very accurate, sadly. They need to be hitting these tanks to do the damage that they carry. Look at this. The battle rages far and wide. It's another one of those widespread battles. It's going to be hard to keep up with everything. Got a couple of racked chassis over here. They have their engines, they have their AI, but they have very little else to fight with. The Rakuten Jagdpanzer is getting stuck in. Look at this little guy go. Tanks exploding everywhere around it, and it's just firing with wild abandon. The Caroleans are not paying it any attention, which is very, very good for it because it's very lightly armored. It's going to hide beside its friend here, who's been sadly cored and probably going to despawn soon. Oh no. Now it seems that this Carolean has noticed the little interloper and it's going to deal with him post-haste. Nope, he's not. He's not going to do anything to him. What are these support vehicles doing in the back? It looks like they're doing okay. They're not getting terribly beaten up. Not like the main battle tanks did. But they need to start doing some damage. They've sustained some, it looks like. Pieces laying in the back of this one. Nothing too dangerous, it looks like, but still. Another heat shell, and it goes kind of wide. I'm honestly surprised. I thought that they had better aim than that. Oh, man. Oh, another pinpoint shot straight to the side of this. I think this is a Sturmschwer Haubitz. Yes, I think it is. There's only one Jagdpanzer, and it's this one right here with the extended turret, the mantlet right there. They certainly look impressive and fearsome as they trundle around, but they're not doing a lot, it would seem. Although the Caroleans do look noticeably less blocky than they did before. The Rakuten Jagdpanzer is still alive. It has braved the assault. It charged with the main battle tanks right behind them, in fact, and it's made it to the back lines and is still alive. Oops, that's my phone. A slight collision there with one of the Stridswagens, but it's still okay. It's charging right into this buddy over here. Does it have rams on the front? It looks like it does. Oh, that's brilliant. It has rams on the front, so it can even ram the large Caroleans if it wants to. It can't afford to miss at this range. It's just going to plunk missiles right into the front of this Stridswagen. And I'm not sure the Stridswagen can actually aim down far enough to hit the tank. Unfortunately, it backed off, and now it definitely can hit the Rakuten Jagdpanzer, and the Rakuten miss. Oh, hoisted by an ammo explosion. Well, I think that's all we're going to see of this wonderful little tank. Yeah, it's certainly dead now, but it had a good run. How is the rest of its team faring? There is one main battle tank chassis still trundling around, unable to do much of anything. Shells still flying left and right. The Caroleans are running the show now, it seems. I don't think any of them have despawned. These tank destroyers have fallen by the wayside. They don't have much in the way of mobility left. I don't think they have much in the way of engines left. And they don't seem to be trying to aim anymore either. In spite of the fact that there's a tank right in front of them, it looks like they've been incapacitated. Yep, well, that one certainly has. There goes the Rakuten Jagdpanzer despawning. The chassis of this main battle tank is still running around. If it had its gun, it probably could have done some damage, but it was sheared off early in the fight. And it collides with another decapitated chassis. Oh dear. Seems like these have some very sturdy chassis. They just don't have a lot in the way of turret protection. The Caroleans, on the other hand, do. They've weathered this storm very well. Look at this one. Very little in the way of damage that you can see on it. It just blows another chunk out of that Escuchen main battle tank. Yes, here's the remainder of the tank destroyers from the Rotten Coalition. They too have been immobilized, and they're just waiting to die now, it seems. They don't have anything left in them. No wheels on this side. A couple on this side, but none of them are moving. Their engines have been destroyed. Their ammo has been diminished, and there they go. One despawning. Oh, look at all the lasers. I think we all know who the last remaining member of the Rotten Coalition is now. Oh no. Well, AFJK LOL and Thunderpanzer, thank you for participating, but I think you're going down to the secondary brackets in very short order here. I will say, it's taken quite a few shots for them to despawn this little tank destroyer, so I mean, good on you for making them this sturdy. They kind of looked a little flimsy, if I'm honest, but they seem to have held up well. It's just that they got encircled by Caroleans, and the engines in the back are very exposed, and once they lost that mobility, they had nothing left to give. As the last remaining Stush down to 49% and will despawn shortly. And by shortly, I mean now. And that's it. With the last explosion, the battle is over. Congratulations, Mystic Ping. Your Caroleans have proved victorious in the face of, honestly, very astounding odds. They fought against, I think, twice their number of tanks, and they still came off looking very, very much unharmed. I'm very, very impressed by your tanks. Thank you for submitting, and thank you for participating. And AFJK LOL, Thunderpanzer, my condolences on your loss. You're not out yet. You get to go down to compete in the secondary brackets, but good fight. Thank you for showing up, and hope you enjoyed this. Hope everyone who's watching enjoyed, and until next time, I've been Chromoid, and this is Tank Wars. See you in the next match.